So quit your job and follow your passion instead. This is horrible advice, and I'm going to explain why. There's quite a few reasons why this is very misguided advice to give people, and I would say malpractice almost, damaging to give people this advice. Where am I going with this? Basically, quit your job and follow your passion instead is not actually really advice or a plan, but just kind of a platitude and an outdated platitude, if that. Um, this is not going to help people achieve happiness because there's so many better ways to find fulfillment in your life than simply, well, you need to quit your job. Your job is the problem, and you need to go follow your passion instead and make that work. There's so many better ways to do that. I'm gonna explain it here, but there's usually three different situations people are in with regards to their occupation and what they do with their life. The first situation is you work the desk job that you hate, or maybe it's not a desk job. It doesn't have to be a desk job, but you work the typical 9 to 5 experience. You don't really particularly like the job, but it pays the bills. But you're not having fun there. You're not enjoying it. You're not getting what you want out of it. The second option is you pursue your passion instead. You maybe make it, maybe don't make it, maybe you grind, maybe you lose a lot of money and a lot of time and it doesn't work out. And then for the small percentage of people, it does work out and you can take your chances there. Then there's a third option that not a lot of people realize, but maybe happiness for you in your life is the intersection between two things, between what can pay the bills, what can give you financial security, and what can allow you to continue to move forward in life, and what you're passionate about. Instead of picking one or the other, you find something that's a synthesis, something that overlaps enough with both those things to where you're fairly satisfied with what you're doing. It's not your favorite thing in the world. Let's say you want to be a musician, right? That's like your dream. You want to be a rock star. But maybe you realize that is a very, 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 very small percentage of people are going to achieve that. And you don't think that maybe that's achievable for you. But you also know that you don't want to work a typical 9 to 5. Find something that intersects enough with what interests you in the music industry. Maybe it's working in market research for albums or for music companies or something like that, but can still synthesize with a way that you can make a living and that you can get by in this world. I feel like this is a very underrated option. People feel like they either have to choose one or the other. Either I have to choose the slave away at the 9 to 5 or struggle doing my passion. When in reality, I don't think you have to choose that. And the B part, so that's the A part of the third option, is find something that's a synthesis between these two things. The B part of that third option is start your passion as a side hustle while you're working the main job. This is very easy to do. Yes, the main job will be draining, but if you just dedicate, let's say, a half hour a day, throughout the week, 6 days a week, a half hour a day, at night to your side passion, side hustle, well, that's about 3 hours a week right there that you can put towards building something. It's not that hard. Or maybe you spend 2 hours a day on the weekends doing it. Well, that's 4 additional hours. So you have plenty of time to start building up whatever your passion is in form of a side hustle. And with the way the internet is constructed, with the way digital marketing and social media is constructed, there's no better time to actually do this in the existence of the world, because anyone with a large following on social media has value, can find a way to make money off that. And so you could either start that up, try and find a path forward, and you could never quit your main job. You could just use that as a side income. You're going to spend that time after working on the weekends doing something. And some of it needs to be relaxing, and some of it needs to be recharging for the week. But a lot of that time, be honest with yourself, is BS time, where you're not really doing anything productive. You're watching Netflix, you're doom scrolling on social media. You tell me you can't find a half hour a day in the evenings from your regular job. Maybe you're a parent or something like that, or you have other things that you have to take care of that are part of life, and that's fine. But we're talking a half hour. You tell me you can't replace all the Instagram scrolling and Netflix watching. You can't find a half hour to notch out for you to spend time, flirting with your passion, finding a way to turn that into an income or an occupation. I seriously doubt that most people couldn't find that time. And a lot of the most successful people, especially a lot of people in today's age, work regular jobs. They built their side hustle at night while they were working the other job because they were passionate about it and wanted to achieve it. And then once that finally became successful enough, they were able to quit their main job. This is the most achievable, in my opinion, and safest way to get what you want out of your job situation. Because quitting the main job, I mean, the burden now on yourself to perform, and also building up businesses, building up side hustles, building up your passion and other forms of income, it takes a long time. It doesn't just take like in 2 months you can build a social media following. It happens to the very, 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 very tippy top percentage of people who get lucky or have money behind them. But for a lot of people, it's going to take a lot of time for you to build that up and get it right. Focus in on what you actually are passionate about and how to turn that into something, that can make you money or can add value to people's lives. That all takes time to work out. But when you quit the job, your window goes to like that. So you better have a very, very detailed plan when you do that. And I've known some people where they quit their job because they have a very detailed plan of what they're going to do when they're done with the job. And great, they have an exit plan. They go from A to B and they figure it out. But a lot of people do not. They just kind of dream about this idea of quitting their job and pursuing whatever it is. But they have no real plan for how that's going to work. And then they do it and they're, oh crap, and they're in a worse, more stressful situation. Their passion stresses them out instead of adding value to their life. And they're in a worse situation from where they started. So the best way to do that is pick that option 3, whether it's A or B, option 3, where you find a synthesis between what you enjoy and what you can make you money, or you do that side hustle at night and on weekends and during holidays. Slowly build it up over time. It might take a couple years, but that way you're not just so stressed about making it work. And now you've turned something you've enjoyed, your passion that you probably love a lot in life, and making it super stressful. Instead, you're going, hey, I'm working on my passion on the side. I get to do a little bit every week. I'm finding ways to make this work. It's such a better path and a better route for people who are not like these crazy business brainiacs. Like, I'm not a crazy business brainiac in my opinion, and can make it work in 3 months and turn it into something. Some people can do that, and that's awesome. But I prefer the slow approach where we're going to build this up over time. And that way we have the latitude to try things and see where things fit in the world, how I can add value to people's lives. I can experiment, and it doesn't have to be a perfect product right off the gate. Because I understand the dissatisfaction with, you don't like your job. You don't like what you do with your job. You don't find it fulfilling. And I think they've even surveyed Americans that like 55%, not only do they not find the job fulfilling, they actually don't think it adds any objective value to society at all. Like, they just don't see even the point of their job besides taking home a paycheck. And that can be a thing that wears on people over time, that gets to people over time. And they want to feel like they can do something more fulfilling. Now, I think there's dignity in most work and what people do, but they want to really feel like that they're putting a lot into what they do. And I totally understand that. And so sometimes people make the impulsive decision of, I'm just going to quit the job and I'm just going to do it, and they have no plan. If you're going to do that, have a plan. But I think even better, figure out that plan over a long period of time. Start building it up. Whether it's you want to do something on social media, YouTube is a great place to start a side business. I have another channel that's a side business through YouTube. And that's not a full-time thing, but I do make a side income because I do it in my off hours, and I hope at one point, it becomes bigger and bigger. But I do it in my off time. And so there's not a ton of pressure on it, but anything extra that I make from it is just like bonus income on top, and it's great. And I love when I do it. And so it's a win-win for me in my life. And because I have the time to do it, then I just do that thing. But if I had to make that my full-time thing, the amount of pressure would be insane. I think I would stop enjoying it at that point. And then you're just suffering as much as you did when you're at the other job. So that's my thoughts on, quit your job to pursue your passion. It's like, well, let's break that down and let's actually think about how we can make that achievable instead of just throwing out a platitude for people to eat up. So let me know your opinions in the comments down below. Have you ever tried any of these paths? Have you quit your job to pursue your passion and it worked out? I'd like to hear your experiences in a comment. Like and subscribe to the channel if you enjoy videos like this. And anyways, I'll see you guys next time.